Hey guys, it's Richie again. I want to talk about how I traded and my thought process on why I was confident on GMVD. So let's start saying first the theme and catalyst. Now we've seen this stock run from basically $2 to a high of 674, and the theme was basically COVID. The catalyst, it had published last week. So right here, let's see. Oops, need to type that in. All right. So had COVID. So COVID-related news. COVID. Remember key terms when I mentioned my trade on Neuro. If you guys remember, key terms you want to look for. COVID. Is there a pandemic going on? We've been getting news and headlines saying that there's a demand for COVID test kits. So right here talks about a purchase order for 2 million test kits for COVID-19. So we know that the theme and catalyst is there. And ever since that news, it just continues to go. So let me get my notes. Let me get my notes right here. So we have a catalyst. Okay, so catalyst, and it's COVID related. So COVID-19. All right. Next, I want to look for the range on how high GMVD could possibly go. So based on my daily chart right here, it's only showing me a high of 462 right here, all-time highs. If I bring my different chart right here from Webull, it shows me just make this a little bigger so you guys can see. So right here, so same thing, 464, and we have this weird price action or stuff going on over here, which is basically non-existent. So if we can make a horizontal line right here showing its resistance. So basically GMVD, if GMVD goes over basically over 450s, I mean the sky is the limit on this once it goes over that. I played GMVD right here first on this date right here. So on January 13th, this is the day I played it on. This is where I made decent money on this. I made about like 42,000 on this. And this day, it was a bit of a risky play, but I was just willing to I was willing to play it, in case this thing really went, and it did. So I played a little bit smaller, but ended up working. I made another 24K on this. So total, what's that? So 42,000 plus 24, so 66K. So let's just say 65, right? Just by knowing the theme, okay, and the catalyst. So the theme is well, COVID, and the range on this over 460s, sky's the limit. So massive range. All right. Let's make a little bit more detail. So over 460s. All right. So let's get this out of the way, and actually maybe this was just I'll stick to this. Trade zero charting might be a little funky sometimes. So let's see. Let's go back to the day where it first went. I believe it was this. Yeah. So this day. Okay. Let's go to the 1 minute or 5 minute. Just kind of go back where it ran. So right here. I don't remember exactly how I played this. I don't remember. Um, I don't keep track of my exact trades in mind. But I can tell you. So let's go to the 1 minute and see. Actually, no, it took me back. So let's go back to that day. All right. Okay, so I kind of remember now. Just looking at the 1 minute. So going back, right? This is the same mindset. We had the same theme and massive range. I had a I had a nice big push. The volume was not the greatest, but it was something. So it pulled back, came back down, come back up, had these higher lows. So one low here, higher low. Okay, so let's just draw this so you can visually see what I'm seeing. So right here. And yeah, I saw this higher low, so I got it right here. I bought this I bought it straight up over here, all the way up to 340s. My risk was right here 320s. So I was risking 20 cents um for up to I mean over $4. I held the entire thing cuz I really liked the chart so much or the potential it had. Remember, this had a lot of potential. This was the day it ran. This is the day I first played GMVD. So if it went over 460s, this thing will go. So my first thought was, okay, if this really can go, this thing could have maybe $5 this day, but it did not. Um, so it just went to four. Okay, so let's go back to the 1 minute. Oh crap, I have to go back. Okay, so let's just stay here for a moment. So my first answer was here, no, not four, three, just under 340s. Held the entire thing, didn't sell anything, stuck to my game plan, and this continued to grind up. Mid high day. This is where I started. This is where I started selling. I started selling over here, and then I sold the rest down here. I'm pretty sure it was making another flag right here, and I was like, okay, I'm not willing to hold this thing and just watch this all day. So I was okay. So if it doesn't go break over here, then it won't go to five. If it does break, I'll hold. But if it doesn't, I'll stop out. So I basically stopped out right here, just under $4. $42,000 trade right there from uh, from just before 10 o'clock, and then ends so about 2 hours, 12 o'clock. So 2 hour trade. So I had to be really patient. I had to take out the patience strategy out of me. So yeah, I held through this entire move all the way back down. I was basically negative at one point down here, but I stuck to my gut, my plan, and ended up paying me very well. All right, next. So that was my first round GMVD. So I noticed this thing had consolidated right here, kind of just stayed at this day. I was like, okay, potentially the next day I think this can really go. Unfortunately, I did not trade it on this day. Um, so I just let it go. But then I was like, okay, GMVD still has a lot of potential. I think we can get a really large move because it's getting really close to this 460s. It went to a high of 447, so just under 450. If it can just get over these 460s, this thing can easily go to 5, 7, up to $8. So I knew it had the range. I knew it was getting close. So that's why it had. I was still watching GMVD. Even after this big push that day, it it actually gapped up. And the support would be basically 420s right here, which is this previous close right here. So I was watching real closely on it. So let's go to the 1 minute. All right. So remember we saw this. So same, almost same thing we saw on my first trade on GMVD. So we had this large push, comes right back down. Okay, and this kind of dances right here in the middle, right? So when it came right back down, okay, let's see if it comes back up. Previous day highs were 440s, so let's make that line right here 440s. Some people only some traders make the mistake of only looking at this day. They don't bother looking at this. This is a huge detail that some beginner traders don't see. So they need to point out where the previous levels or trading sessions traded at. In this point, traded around 440s, so just increases a little bit more. 440s, and that would be your support. And also 420s. They closed at 420, so let's make that 420s. So right here, what is this? 420, 420. All right, so 420. So we already have two support levels. So even if you were to get in on this dip at 440, your risk would be around 430, 420s. And if it went under that, this thing would go down to 4, basically. 4 down here. So this morning when I saw this large dip, I was looking for if it can hold the 440s, and it did. It rallied back up. This is where things started getting interesting. I was like, okay, she's coming back up. Now can she go back to $5? Because if she does, this will now create a potential setup. And the setup I was looking for was this triangle or wedge pattern. So right here, now there's a lot of lines right here. Looks kind of messy here. Let me see if I can change the color here. Okay, actually that doesn't help. Let's see. Let's just leave that red. So red. All right. So we have red lines here. What is this line here? Oh, another line. Okay. All right. So we have this wedge pattern setting up. I'm going to be explaining this in another video on more in detail just about this pattern. So more on that later. Um, so this was the idea I was seeing. It did tap 5, so I'm like, okay, now I'm just going to be waiting for a pullback. I'm not going to be buying in in this wedge. I'm going to be buying closest to this um bottom red line as possible. It'll reduce my risk and keep things tight. So if I were to buy down here 460s, my risk would basically be maybe 455. So um yeah, so I know that the new resistance is $5. While we were trading around these levels over just under $5, remember that the remember that when I said that this if this thing goes over 460s, this thing has massive range, and it did that. It had proven to break over 460s. Now we just need buyers to really get this going. So um I had some ads right here. I kind of chased it a little bit, but I knew what I was getting myself into, because even if I chased it, I knew I wanted to buy more on dips. So I already knew going forward that my average was going to be around the middle, so around the 480s, maybe even 490s. 480, 490, I knew that was going to be my sweet spot average. That's fine. So I'm just mainly looking at the pattern and the upside. So this had major upside. Uh, and yeah, it went up right here. It's getting really tight. Kind of consolidates, pulls back once more, and really starts to go. Volume increasing. Unfortunately, I did not catch the majority of the move, but I did catch some of it. I saw some over here, and that was basically it. Um, I wish I held more, but I didn't. There weren't many stocks. It was going towards lunchtime, so I was just kind of worried that we were not going to get continuation. In this case we did. So uh, it, yeah, I missed it, but that's fine. I like to stick to my rules. Around lunchtime, I like to avoid trading stocks because volume starts to decrease. As we can see here, volume's already decreasing towards noon. So, but then it come back again. But whatever. Stuck to my rules, my risk, and my setup. And that was it. This was a 24K trade. So like I said, just over 65K past week just by trading GMVD. So I hope you guys learned something from this. Um, if if this helped, give it a like, share it. If you guys have any questions or comments, post it in the video below, and I'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next video.